Before we get into this video, I just want to say all the footage I'm going to be using right here is taking place at the very start of the game. It is going to be within the first like 10 minutes of gameplay and is all what's been shown already in trailers, so no spoilers here. That being said, welcome everybody. Today I want to do a quick playthrough. I've been playing a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom, and I've basically had time to not only talk to other speedrunners, but also test myself all the major glitches and tricks, etc. to kind of see what works and what doesn't work in Tears of the Kingdom. So I'm going to break down what still works, what has been patched, spoiler alert, a lot of it, and more importantly, how they went about patching it. So, that being said, let's dive right into it. So, we're starting off here on the Sky Island. Like I said, this is literally right as you drop into the game. And I did not think about not dealing with enemies. Anyways, so, sorry about that. So, the first things first that I want to show off is obviously the first main movement glitch, which is BILs, or Bomb Impact Launches, which was a very popular glitch that was shown all the time in Breath of the Wild. Unfortunately, it just patched for one simple reason. We don't have the rune. Like, we don't have the rune, so can't do it, right? So, no rune, no bomb rune, also no stasis rune, so both of those are immediately kind of out of the picture. The second one was a glitch known as BLSS, or Bow Lift Smuggling Slide. Basically, I'll show you quickly on the screen right now. It looks like, basically, the idea of it is that you can basically pick up an object in Link's hand, get it stuck in Link's hand, do a certain couple of actions, and then start flying super quickly. Now, this was used in the newest Any Percent route, and was the kind of new mechanic that people were using. Unfortunately, I hate to say, it also does not work, because there are two parts to make the glitch work. The first part is to basically, you hold out your shield, and then you're supposed to press the ZR button to take out your bow, and in that animation right there, you press A to pick up an object. Now, if I try and do it, it doesn't work. If I do it quickly, it just picks up the pot. And if I do it slowly, he will physically take out the bow and then take away the bow. So you can't do both at the same time. Even if you can somehow do both at the same time, so you have the bow out and holding an object at the same time, the next part of this is that you hold target, you jump, and then you press B to drop the object in midair. But also can't do that. You also cannot press B in midair, or A for that matter in midair. You guys can shield jump, but you can't basically just do the dropping animation, like the putting away animation. So basically, it seems to be completely screwed. I've talked to other speedrunners. It just flat out does not seem to work. The next movement trick that I would like to mention is, while we're here, is whistle sprinting. Whistle sprinting is, in my opinion, one of the most used tricks. I wouldn't even call it a glitch. I call it an exploit or a trick. And I promise you, most casuals that are listening to this might have even tried it. So the trick is quite simple. Basically, what you just gotta do, and I'll show a clip right now, you hold the whistle button, D-pad down in Breath of the Wild, and then you tap the B button, which will allow you to basically just run infinitely without taking any stamina. In this game, I would say this is probably the most FU patch you possibly could have done for speedrunners and casuals who have done the trick. So not only if you hold D-pad down and you press B, does it like just cancel out of whistle sprinting. On top of that as well, I want to show you something quickly. If we stand here, and I'm just going to run across this, okay? So I'm just going to hold B and run across it. As you can see, you basically just barely run across the whole bridge, right? Once again, barely get across the bridge. Now, I'm going to show you what happens if you just tap the B button, all right? I'm not even going to hold the whistle button. I'm just going to tap the B button. So I'm going to tap sprint, all right? Look at how far I make it. I don't even make it halfway past the bridge. So they actively punish you. You can see on the stamina wheel, they actively punish you for tapping the B button. So it is like double patched, massive middle finger. You got to get out of the muscle memory. The sprinting sucks in general. What I think hurts the most, though, is not being able to actually get up like mountains and stuff easier. Anyways, that's not all of the glitches. Another glitch that is used all the time in speedrunning is clips, right? Shield clipping, stuff like that. Now, when it comes to shield clipping, you might think, oh, okay, well, maybe shield clipping might still work. So shield clipping has another unfortunate thing. So normally how the game would work in a vanilla game is you would land on a sloped surface, you would get a skew, and then when you jump next time, Link would halfway through a shield jump kind of get that angle that he was supposed to have if he sat on that surface. And then you can unequip your shield in the middle of it to basically clip through an object. Well, here, not only if I jumped on a sloped surface like this, do I not get a skew? I'll show you right now. Like, there's no skew whatsoever. It actually does not, like, misalign Link. You can even see if I get an angle that's supposed to give me a skew, it kind of, like, does a proper landing animation, which did not happen in the original game. But on top of that as well, if I try to press D-pad left to unequip my shield in the middle of my jump, the button will not work until I'm just about to land. And I'll even show you the pause screen. If I try right now to unequip it, I can't. I can only do it right as I'm about to land on the ground. So even if you were to be able to get a skew, you could not unequip your shield, which basically makes it obsolete. There's a second way you could clip, however, known as a ground clip, which was done by doing a shield jump, taking out your bow into bullet time mode, and then jumping on the same frame you land. And it basically looked like this. I'll show it like this. I'll show you a quick clip of how it looks like on Breath of the Wild. It's a really cool trick, but unfortunately also just does not work in Tears of the Kingdom. It is just flat out patched. Now, there are two tricks left that I've been saving for last. One is the one that I predicted that would still work in Breath of the Wild, which is bullet time bounces, and also another glitch, which is in relation to how stamina works with the horse. So, let me quickly go there, because this is where things starts to get a little bit more interesting, in my opinion. So, for memory, now when we have an enemy here, how it works in a vanilla game is you do a shield jump, you take out your bow to enter bullet time mode, and then as you land on the enemy, you will get a bounce. And then you quickly leave bullet time mode by either doing a trick by pressing the Y button or completely just unequipping your bow. And this glitch works because of how the game does the speed calculation in between switching between bullet time mode, effects, and real time. And that's just why I assumed this would be the one that 100% still worked, because they would have to fundamentally change how the speed calculation works, which is a huge change that could break way too many things, which is why I said if one glitch will remain, this one would still work. Well, I will quickly show you what happens if you try and do this glitch. So, if I try right now and do a shield jump on this enemy, and I take out my bow, you will see I will go right through him. I literally will not. I will show you a better clip on the screen right now of me doing it, and you will see that you're literally just going right through the enemy. Like, there's just no collision. So their answer to that was by smaller enemies just disable the collision or the bounce altogether, which results in, unfortunately, a situation where you basically just can't do the glitch at all. But there is sort of one saving grace. Now, there's one trick left that I still haven't mentioned, and that is because there's a glitch that still technically kind of works when it comes to Breath of the Wild, or Tears of the Kingdom, I should say, which is a glitch known as like an infinite horse stamina glitch. So, this glitch was a glitch that was heavily used in old Breath of the Wild speedruns, and also in some of the longer speedruns it actually does use a horse. So how it works is quite simple. When you're using your horse and you're using your stamina, right? Now, I can't press A again to use it. However, I can do this little trick right here. I don't have a shield equipped. That's why it's not working. Oh, oops, sorry about that. So I'm going to use the 2 stamina bars right here, and then I'm going to do this little thing right here. Bam. And I can use 2 again. And obviously, you can imagine that this is super advantageous when you have a horse that can do like 4 or 5 like stamina bars right there. So basically, how the glitch is working is you're holding target, and then you're holding ZR, so that you basically will enter bullet time mode the second you jump out, right? But what I'm also holding is I'm holding ZL, ZR, and A. And A will result in you taking out your shield, so you will do a shield jump. So basically what happens is in one short swift, if you tap the X button, is Link will basically do a shield flip, get canceled because of the bow, and then immediately remount the horse. Just like that. And you can do that while having a lot of speed. Now, I would like to say one thing. Unfortunately, even though this glitch does work, It only works on version 1.0, meaning if you have a digital version or if you have a physical copy that's been updated to 1.1, it will not work. I'm not quite sure yet what speedrunners will do because it's the main movement glitch, and I've heard there's about a bunch of performance improvements on version 1.1, so we'll see what they actually do decide if it's faster to run on the launch version or 1.1. But either way, that is basically Tears of the Kingdom in a nutshell. Almost everything has been patched, and we're kind of starting off from scratch. The only positive thing I would have to say is this new mechanic right here. When you go through a ceiling, you saw it in the trailer when you kind of zip through a mountain. This is one of the only things that kind of gives me somewhat of, I should say, hope, because it is not restrictive to caves. You can use it on basically any object whatsoever, as long as it's sort of flat above you, and if you can go up on it, you can usually get it. So there's a lot of objects where you might see like, oh, I'm probably not supposed to go up here. And then you try it and you might find like one tiny little blue spot that you can actually use it at with a little bit of exploration. And yeah, with enough time, I think that could probably lead to some skips. But either way, that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed this small little update on what trick still works and doesn't work and how they've been patched in Tears of the Kingdom. Stay tuned for more awesome future content, and I will see you all in the next one. Later, everybody. Bye-bye.